I'm Alexander Surya Jayani. It's 12:36 p.m. October 2nd. So as I've been writing in my so I don't have to retype letters and direct messages to other people, there's something going on where there's these terrorists telling people they're trying to give me fame, but they're really trying to orchestrate a frame and acting like I was capable of all these things I never was capable of. One thing, they were trying to make me look like the richest man in the world when I wasn't even rich at all, and they were trying to course murder on me. Another thing, what they were doing is they were acting like I was capable of hacking, programming, mind melding. Mind melding's like whatever they're doing with this tech I'm a victim of, using the computers to interact with the human nervous system, as well as like delivering telepathy. It used to be supposedly just a method of delivering telepathy and human programming. Then they started making weapons and all this to try to make me bend the knee, and I told them to eat shit. And then they started saying it was, quote, broad. So I don't know what the hell this mind melding jazz really is. But it used to be supposedly a method of delivering telepathy, and it had to do with human programming. Then they started, but they couldn't control me. Then they started using weapons trying to control me, and I still wouldn't listen to them. So that's a piece of this. But a piece of this is they're claiming they're making a movie. And while they were mind melding and implanting people and doing whatever else, they would use imaging and make themselves look like me and other people, maybe telling people they were giving them fame. But what they're doing is trying to orchestrate a frame outside of America and inside of America. And then they were trying to give people fake credentials, like they knew how to hack, knew how to program, uh, knew how to mind meld, implant, this and that, when they had no clue. And that's what they kept trying to do for me. And I was like, I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. Like, for instance, they supposedly gave me a mind melder warlord belt because I drew some diagram analyzing what I was a victim of, these frame squad tactics, and this the D&E on 34th Street was what I call it. Because I drew some diagram analyzing what I was a victim of, these frame squad tactics, and this the D&E on 34th Street was what I call it. But what they do is they fire an image, and then they'd interact with the device as the image is being processed in the mind's eye, and they could actually influence the outcomes of the image in the mind's eye and actually interact with the device as the images in the mind's eye are forming. I'd call it a D&E on 34th Street. Um, they also could just do it when I'm thinking of something. They could be in interaction with the device. So when the action potentials for my brain are hitting the device and something's going to form in my mind's eye, they could influence outcomes. I explained it in my Methods of Analysis 3 document, like thinking about when like people are firing assaulting me. I think about shooting someone and they actually dodge. I was just thinking about shooting them and making them disappear and leave me alone, because they'd act like they got caught or something. They'd leave me alone, but they would dodge it, is what they were doing. And I, while interacting with the device, and they could actually, it was like I said, it was like as if my mind was in a battle with a computer, and they could actually dodge when I was just trying to shoot this guy and make him disappear in the mind. But they were doing this kind of stuff. Um, Something with a knife too. Sometimes I'd pretend to throw a knife at someone, they'd catch it or something. I don't remember, or I can't remember what it was anymore. But they had a way to influence outcomes and interact. But I called it. I made a diagram on my St. Edward's or my St. George University med school notes about this D&E. I still have it in my iCloud. The original drawing, I think I made in like July of 2019 ish. But it even had my name on it. They supposedly stole that. They actually stole that drawing and then erased my name. Key point. They stole it from my parents' house. But that's a piece of this. But what they were doing is they knew some people were relying on some betting ring for truth and using that in their investigation. So they'd manufacture betting results, manufacture bets, either create false payouts or pay out with stolen money to make it look more real. And then make it look like I was capable of hacking, programming, mind melding, and God knows what else. I've never seen it. But they were trying to orchestrate a frame, not fame. And I never asked for fame anyway, so that's another weird piece of this, where they came up with this thing. I wanted fame. I was a fucking medical student, not after fame. I went to med school. I want anything I earn. If I earn something in life, I'll take it. But never was seeking fame. Never was a fame seeker. So that's a big piece of this as well. Um, Regardless of that, these people are stealing money and property, IP, and data, trying to orchestrate frames. They're orchestrating frames for a terrorist organization and trying to help terrorists avoid prison and get out of prison. So that's a piece of this too. They're also stealing my IP and data in order to aid and abet terrorists. When showing people my ideas or giving them to these people are aiding and abetting terrorists, because these people steal my ideas and then give them to someone in some weird prison system. I don't know what's going on. And then they actually let them out of prison. So they're aiding and abetting terrorism. These people stealing my data and ideas. So that's another piece of this. But I've written this in my so I don't have to type read letter and then DM. So I'd look into that too because that's another piece of this. These guys trying to sell ideas of fame when really trying to orchestrate frames, and then also manufacturing betting results and pretending they're CIA or expert investigators when they're really just criminals using betting results to manufacture false perceptions, sell ideas of people being capable of things they're not, like hacking, programming, whatever, in order to generate a criminal profile, in order to frame someone for some previous crime. They talk about some bank heist in New York. So that's a key piece of this. So look into it.